A really important report just came out from the National Academies, and it gives us this fantastic look at how AI is about to reshape, well, pretty much everything: our jobs, our economy, our lives. So let's dive in and see what it says.
So the report actually points to a very specific moment when it says everything changed, November 2022. And you probably know why. That's when ChatGPT was released to the public. For millions of us, right, this was the first time we could actually talk to and work with a powerful large language model. It was a genuine turning point in how we think about technology.
But as we've all figured out pretty quickly, these tools are, well, they're a mixed bag. On one hand, what they can do is just incredible: writing code, summarizing really complex stuff, you name it. But on the other hand, and this is a big but, they have some serious drawbacks. They can hallucinate, which is a nice way of saying they just make stuff up, and they can make some really basic mistakes in logic. This split personality is key to understanding how they'll actually affect the real world. Okay, so let's move past that initial wow factor. We're going to dig into what this massive technological shift really means for our economy and specifically for our productivity. So, the first big thing the report dives into is productivity. And with AI, it's a classic double-edged sword. It presents this huge opportunity for growth, but also some pretty significant challenges. To really get the scale of what's happening, economists have a special term for this kind of thing: a general purpose technology. Think about it like this: electricity or the internet. These weren't just small improvements, they were foundational shifts that changed literally everything and kicked off countless other innovations. And here's the thing: the National Academies report is crystal clear on this. AI fits the bill. It's not just another app on your phone or some niche tool. It has the potential to fundamentally rewire our entire economy, just like electricity did more than 100 years ago. And get this, the potential upside here is just massive. Some economists think AI could more than double the recent US productivity growth rate, pushing it from about 1.4% a year to over 3%. That is a huge leap, the kind of jump that could dramatically improve our standard of living. But there's always a but, isn't there? And this is where we hit that core tension. The report warns that if we don't have the right policies in place, all these amazing productivity gains might not be shared by everyone. And what that means is you could see greater inequality, bigger gaps in wages, and some people losing their jobs, even while the economy as a whole is booming. So, this conflict between productivity and inequality brings us to the next big question, right? It's not just about the economy, it's about us, people, our skills. How does AI actually change what it means to be an expert at something? The report does something really smart here. Instead of just talking about jobs, it zooms in on this idea of expertise. That's the specific skill you need to get something done, whether it's the craft of baking amazing bread, the medical knowledge of taking vital signs, or the technical skill of coding an app. It's a much better way to think about how work is going to change. And that brings us to the question that's on pretty much everyone's mind. Is this new technology going to make our hard-earned skills worthless? Or is it going to create opportunities for totally new kinds of expertise to grow? Well, if you look back at history, the answer has always been both. The factory system made a lot of artisanal skills less valuable. Computers did the same thing to a lot of repetitive office work. But every single time, new forms of expertise have popped up, and new jobs were created that nobody could have even imagined before. And the scale of this change is just mind-blowing. Check out the statistic from the report. It's just incredible. Over 60% of the jobs that people do today are in fields that didn't even exist back in 1940. I mean, just stop and think about that for a second. It's a huge reminder that our workforce is always reinventing itself. Okay, so if we know that change is the only constant and that our skills are always evolving, what do we do about it? How do we keep up? Well, the report points to one place, and it's a big one: education. And here's the bottom line. This idea of lifelong learning, it's not just some nice-to-have buzzword anymore. It is an absolute economic necessity. As AI automates some skills and creates demand for totally new ones, the single most important thing for workers will be the ability to get access to continuing education so they can adapt and thrive. And what's really fascinating is that AI itself is going to shake up education in three major ways. First, it's going to drive the demand for new skills and retraining. Second, it's going to help with the supply by creating new, personalized, AI-powered teaching tools. And third, and this might be the biggest one, it's going to force us to totally rethink what we're even teaching our kids to prepare them for a world where they'll be working side by side with AI.
This brings us to the final part of the report. And honestly, I think it's the most important and, well, the most hopeful part. The future isn't something that just happens to us. It's something we build. This quote right here, this is probably the single most important sentence in the whole report. Technology is not destiny. The kind of future we get, one with shared prosperity or one with more inequality, it isn't set in stone. The choices we make right here, right now, are going to shape everything. And this isn't a job for just one group of people to figure out. It has to be a team effort. We're talking about policymakers creating smart rules, business leaders investing in their people, the AI researchers themselves building technology that helps humans, and of course, employers and workers figuring out how to navigate this transition together. So in the end, that's what it all comes down to. The report leaves us with this really profound idea. AI is just a tool. A very, very powerful tool for sure, but still just a tool, like a hammer or the printing press. The tool itself isn't good or bad. So the real question, the one we all have to answer, is this: what kind of future are we going to choose to build with it?